Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hi, Bina. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. So as we use this hallelujah to get ourselves present, I just want to remind you that chant is a way of embodying prayer. And so as we sing this hallelujah, see if you can feel it vibrating in every part of your body. And you might need to move a little bit to loosen up those pathways. But we want that hallelujah to be really coming from not just like your mouth or something, but just from every part of you. And really, what did you say, Rahul?
What? Radiance. Radiance.
Radiance. And not only that, after a while, it's like, this kind of feeling of like, who's chanting? Oh, God is chanting me, and I'm going to allow that chant through. So let's see if we can let the hallelujah through. And just because last week was all about the power of praise, and I'm still there. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
just went where it wanted to go.
Yeah. So, welcome, KZOOMers.
Hey, everybody.
There's some people who maybe are here for the first time. You're coming into a loving community of practice, and so appreciate your juicy faces. So you might want to just take a moment to just look around the Zoom room and say hello to all these KZOOMers.
Hey there.
So there is this journey that we're on called Love at the Center, and if you don't subscribe to Love at the Center, you can just go on my website and click on it so that you get the sort of the teaching for each week. And what we do at the KZOOM is take that teaching of Love at the Center and then just go crazy with it.
Dive in.
Dive in. So there's been this wonderful journey through Love at the Center, through the Song of Songs, that has led us from that place of being bruised and beaten to calling up Shomrei HaChamot, the guardians, the place of awareness. And when we call up that awareness, suddenly the daughters of Jerusalem are there, our companion. We open our eyes to the companions on the path, who are always there, but we couldn't always see them. And then we engage in this wonderful conversation of beloveds, where those daughters of Jerusalem ask us a question, and that question, the right question, opens up a torrent of praise. And that praise lifts us up out of kind of small mind into this place of big mind. And from there, we discover the power of presence. And because all of that praise, kind of like big river of praise that pours out of the lover, ends with these words that say, Zeh Dodi v'zeh Re'i. This is my beloved, and this is my friend. So this whole journey we're on brings us to this very moment, to be able to say that God shows up when we show up. When we enter into the fullness of presence, then presence is there. And pleasure, here's a teaching from Leslie Jameson that says, pleasure demands presence. It invites you to inhabit your body more fully. No part of you is held at remove. No part of you is held at remove. It's like we are fully inhabiting this moment. And I remember when I was teaching this, when I was sharing this practice with my dear friend and teacher Sylvia Boorstein, she offered an intention that said, I greet this moment in friendship with an undefended heart. Yeah. And so if each moment we can greet as our friend, as our beloved, with an undefended heart, then whatever it is we need to learn from this moment, we can learn it. Whatever it is we can receive of the gift of this moment, we can fully receive it. And it is really about welcoming, rather than pushing away or saying, no, I'd like something different, please. It's like, no, this is my beloved. And even though I might rather have that, this is what I'm given. And so I want to open to this and fall in love and befriend, which means tend and befriend. What is it? Tend
and befriend.
This moment.
The new way the immune system works.
Right. Instead of
fight and
destroy. Yes. We sort of tend and befriend. So to befriend each and every moment, and say, oh, this is my beloved. This is how God is showing up for me now. So let's enter into this practice and see if we can take a journey to the present moment. And I love this quote from Philo that says, the true name of eternity is today. So with this kind of a hint that if you want to reach all of the vastness of the cosmos, you come home to this, and that this through this is a doorway to the all. It's almost counterintuitive, but
paradox.
Yeah, but it's and then I have to look at what my resistance is to this, and do a practice of that I sort of wander away and then I keep coming back to this. And I think with the practice of chant, we can pour into our voices this great love and a sense of friendship. And let that be communicated through our voice. Dodi, In our practice, we charge up the present moment so that it kind of has a kind of magnetism that will want to call us back when we kind of wander away into our ruminations, our planning or regrets. We want to be able to find a pathway to return to Zeh, because that's where God's presence is kind of just waiting for us to get there. And I love this. There's this book called Mystical Activism by John Robinson, which he says mystical consciousness is an intentional state of intense, highly sensory awareness that dissolves the veil of thought to reveal the presence of the divine as reality itself.
Whoa.
To reveal the presence of the divine as reality itself. And the experience of presence is the doorway to mystical consciousness. So we stumble on it lots of times, and but how do we make that experience intentional? So he says that presence refers to the immediate and tangible experience of God's consciousness in the world, in our consciousness, and in our physical being. So with my practice, I charge up that present moment, and sometimes there are verses from our liturgy and from Psalms that kind of give me kind of a motivation and that strengthen that intention to return. And the one that I want to do with you is, I call it Encountering the Living God. And and it says my soul thirsts for God, and not just the idea of God, but for the living God, for the experience of God, for mystical consciousness, and to call up that thirst, that longing, that kind of like strong intention to not settle for just what I can think about, but rather to like open up to this experience that's waiting for me. And So the other day we were practicing this chant, and we always do a chant, and then we sit for 20 minutes in silence after the chant. And just before we started our practice, I got a very disturbing text from someone, and I got a very disturbing phone call. All like we're about to start our practice. I was like, okay. Sort of. I just looked at the text, and then I answered the phone, and then it was like, okay, now we go to our practice, And so I felt like, okay, this is a real test, because my mind so wanted to go to the answer to that text or that phone call, and I could feel it as this kind of holy choice each moment to return to Zeh, to be present to nothing, to no thing, rather than all the some things that were pulling me. And I was reasonably successful.
Boy, that's good.
I mean, I just
any success at all is just amazing.
Like it was, but I was aware of like, oh, this is what I'm doing. It's like the pull, the pull to those things is so strong. But is there something stronger than that pull? And that's what we're calling up in this practice. Is the thirst for the living God is stronger than all of that. In theory.
Keep working it.
Yes.
Keep working it.
And so every time we chant, it's like I'm charging up that truth so that I can hold to it, so I can live it. So let's try it. And sometimes, I know when I was doing it, I was also doing a kind of a bowing practice with it, just to get my whole body into it. So you can experiment with that to see how do you sort of charge up that thirst for the living God. Tzam'ah Nafshi Elohim Le'elchai. 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 Tzam'ah Nafshi Elohim Elohai. 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 So with our practice, we call up a fierce commitment to that, to this, to being present with whatever God is giving us, however God is showing up for us right now. And it's in the welcoming, the accepting, the consent of to whatever this is, that the doors can open to wherever it is we need to go from here. And so, but there's a lot of energy that goes into resistance to this. When I don't like this, it's like my energy system kind of just comes together and says, let's resist this. And the moment that resistance is that undefended heart appears, there's this energy that's freed up that I didn't know that I had, because I was using it in my defense of this. And sometimes this is lovely, and sometimes it's hard. But it's always, kind of like always the way through. So I'm always looking to say, how do I develop, what is the quality of presence that I want to cultivate, and how do I find my way there? So there's this idea of like finding our way to stillness through movement, finding our way to silence through sound. It feels really important, like that's the pathway for me. Is like if I tried to like go straight away to stillness or to silence, I wouldn't find it. But when I, it's like when I really bring kind of the fullness of my life force to the movement inside myself, that movement will bring me to stillness. John Robinson says, presence is located most distinctly in the stillness, silence, and timelessness that pervade everything in the present moment. It is often associated with the realization that space itself is conscious and alive. Locating this presence involves the sharpening and heightening of awareness. So this practice that I'd like to do with you, that I call Heart Reflections, is for me, it's a pathway to presence. And what I notice is that when I am in my head and my thoughts are kind of racing, there is a pathway into my heart. And from my heart, there's a pathway into stillness, or into presence. And so I sort of need to find that heart location. I need to find myself there in the heart space. And when I do that, then there is this silent stillness that I can find from there. And there's times even that when I've sort of been in the middle of the night, wake up and not be able to go back to sleep, because of some kind of restlessness. I do this chant and find my way into this heart space, and from there into stillness and into presence. One more teaching from John Robinson that said, presence is not an achievement to be had, put away and kept like a possession, souvenir or pressed flower, nor is it a belief we cling to for comfort and security. It is the always new, fresh and unfolding opening into the divine. Mm-hmm. It is the always new, fresh and unfolding opening into the divine. And so I find that I can, Imru vilvavchem, I enter into this kind of the reflection of my heart. Al mish'kavchem, on my bed, meaning in the place of repose. And then, what do you know? Domu. There's this so domu is this word that is kind of a cross between stillness and silence. It's like, I find it there. In my heart. And then selah, right on. Yeah. Selah. So we don't actually know what selah means, but it's like a punctuation that just says, yeah, Yeah, man.
Stillness is where it's at.
Yeah. So let's take that journey. Oh, let me guess. Imru, vilvavchem, mish'kavchem. Imru, vilvavchem, mish'kavchem. Domu, 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 selah. Domu, 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 selah. Imru, vilvavchem. So, in that place of stillness and of radiant presence, there is an answering presence. And so when Moses asked to see God's glory, he's up on the mountain and he asked to see God's glory. God answers with these words about presence, directing Moses to a place from which to see and know the divine presence. And that place is here.
Right here.
Hinay. This is here. So God says these words, Hinay, Makom iti, is right here. There is a place, iti, with me. That place is here. And the word Makom, place, became a name of God. It kind of refers to the omnipresence of the divine, that place. So that when I hear God saying to the Moses inside me is, stand still upon the rock, the foundation of existence, and you will know me, for that place is with me. I am here with you in the place of your stillness, your longing, your love. So I want to just imagine climbing that mountain with the longing to know the presence, to be interbeing with that presence, and in the cleft of the rock, hearing these words, Hinay, right here, wherever you are, that's where I am. When you open, when you leave the distractions behind, even for a moment, I am there, in this place. So let's chant these words as God chanting it to us. Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti. So I invite you to, there's only 3 words, so close your eyes and see if you can open up an inner space. Hinay Makom iti. You don't have to look at the words, and so you want to open up that kind of a great spaciousness within to invite God's presence in. Hinay Makom iti, 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 Hinay Makom, Hinay Makom iti, 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 Hinay Makom Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti, Hinay Makom iti. Hinay Makom iti. Hinay Makom iti. So the world needs our presence. The world needs us to show up. That's one last teaching from John, who says, a consciousness filled with presence is the source of all genuine and spiritually enlightened action. From its depths flow the most authentic and loving responses we can have to the people and situations of our lives. We become better people in the experience of presence. Presence is also something we share with each other. This is one of its most powerful gifts, for being in presence together magnifies all its qualities. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of an amazing thing. And if we want to, touch that place of mystical consciousness, that intentional state of intense, highly sensory awareness, dissolving the veils of thought, to reveal the presence of the divine as reality itself. So it's good to be on this journey with you all, and the journey just continues and deepens, and so nourishing for us to be with you, and maybe at some point you'll come on a retreat. The retreat will really happen, and we can hear each other's harmonies, and magnify each other's presence. Wow! Really? That'll be. A moment. That'll be great. A great moment. Yeah. Meanwhile.
Here we are.
We're grateful for invite Zoom. You to go to my website and give a little donation in honor of what you have received, and we have this opportunity to. I'm going to turn off the recording.